Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have, man, an amazing video for you that's going to crescendo from the very beginning to the very end. So start out a little slow, but it's going to just crescendo. So there's so many big things in here, you got to watch from the beginning to end because you will not believe the stuff I have. For May, May is showing the Pope's death is basically forecasting all these events coming in May, and I'm going to show that to a certain degree. Like I said, no, I normally have many times more evidence than I actually present. This is probably 10 times more. I have so much more, but I had to give you the biggest stuff and kind of go along a particular track. There's other things I could share that's just amazing as well. But okay, so let's get right into it without any further ado. Okay, so again, I'm Exalted Lamb 1 on Telegram if you want to sign up and get notifications and also see my, every so often, every other day or something. A lot of times I post things, gematria on things that are going on or that have to do with my timeline or whatever. And also getting notifications that are reliable instead of you boob turning them off to most of my subscribers all the time and doing all kinds of shenanigans to me. And then I'm the Exalted Lamb 1 on YouTube. So again, my motto is having no part in the worthless deeds of darkness, but instead exposing them, Ephesians 5:11. And of course, I have all these naysayers out there for many years, claiming all kinds of stuff like I'm prophesying stuff and all kinds of stuff, false prophecy, date setting, which is actually a term that came out from the CIA, just like conspiracy theory. They put that out there to kind of poo-poo any kind of possible, people getting ready for a time frame that might bring chaos and horrible things to people. And so I'm just out there to warn. I'm a watchman to warn. I know Jesus himself personally, and he is giving me breadcrumbs throughout my life that I have to interpret, and it's all my best guess. It's always my best guess. And if you have a problem with that, me warning some people of, basically before the hammer starts to fall on your head, then that's on you. And if you give me any hard time, I'm gonna delete your comment in 2 seconds. It's gone. See ya. So anyway, don't even bother because it'll be gone in 2 seconds. So anyway, I'm always trying to figure out how to warn people of the next possible time that's coming when this 14/16 day timeline will begin that the Lord showed me over time. And one of those things is iPad Goat that has been put out there for years. And I'll get into some of that. But anyway, I want to follow you. We'll start up with the rule of Colel. The Kabbalistic rule of Colel states, and this is in Freemasonry, it's a rule in Freemasonry. And by the way, Freemasons and other secret cults and secret organizations run the world, basically, if you didn't know that. And all the ruling families, the 13 ruling families, are members of these different groups. It's worldwide, and they're running the world, basically. The Kabbalistic rule of Colel states that one digit can be added to or subtracted from the gematria value of a word without affecting its value. This seems to modern ears to be a cheat. However, the Kabbalists explain the rule by pointing out that for them, one was not a number. The monad symbolizes the divinity and could come and go as he pleased, adding nothing and taking nothing away. And so I typically just take a one away. I usually don't add it. That seems to be cheating, but I'll definitely take a one away. And a one can be a one or a slash as well as in a date. So anyway, let's keep going here. So what I shared in my last couple videos about this subject matter was I was seeing a bunch of stuff about the USS Abraham Lincoln. And over the years in iPad Goat, again, it's about a 7-minute movie that was put out in 2012 that's depicting the end of the United States and the birth of the Antichrist secretly. It's a bunch of different scenes, and it's like the enemies or the devil's Revelation 12. Book of Revelation, basically, the Book of Revelation, with different scenes and showing basically the demise of the United States before the tribulation starts and the birth of the Antichrist. And so it's all coded and it's all kinds of imagery and it's very detailed. It's multi-layered. There's so many things. So anyway, in this particular scene, Bush, who eventually becomes Obama, the 44th president, I call him all kinds of things like Beelzebub Butthead and BO, Stinky BO and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, he's hit in the back of the head by a shark, and that is in a submarine. And watch some of my last videos. It's an Akula class Russian sub. Akula means shark, and he's shot in the back. back from behind, basically, just like this is a depiction of Abraham Lincoln being shot in the back of the head. He's another president that was shot. Anyway, and Abraham Lincoln was shot in the back of the head. So the Abraham Lincoln is going to go across. This is like the Pacific, and this is Hawaii, unfortunately, with the islands here, with this unfortunate image here. But anyway, and then he's also Donald Trump, who's going to be shot and as well. I mean, he's going to be killed. Not shot, but actually, in a sense, shot with a missile hitting nukes and Manhattans. Anyway, I'll say it that way. And this is going to go across from, anyway, I'm going to show this in a second here, but, and it's going to go across through Hawaii and all right to the, basically to the international date line. I'll show that in a second here, and then get hit in the back. And that's what I'm depicting. And there's so many scenes and there's other things in predictive programming that have led me to this understanding. And so that would mean that the beginning of the timeline, Abraham Lincoln was possibly, again, this is my best guess, be called out from San Diego. Okay. So again, it would start right here in San Diego, go across, and it should be on the first day. So I'm saying in this timeline, and I'll show you the timeline in a second, May 1st and May 2nd. So it will be called out like May 1st, but be reported, if reported at all. So because a lot of times these things are secret, but there's a good chance it will be reported or be tracked to back to May 1st and May 2nd. It'll be called across here to the 7th Fleet or something like that. It'll go across Hawaii. And about this point, international dateline, that's what this is. I believe iPad Go, that one scene is depicting, is going to be hit from the behind with from a sub, a Russian sub or a shark, Russian shark sub. Anyway, an Akula class shark, a sub. Anyway, and then again, international dateline is also known as the dateline. I shared this in my last video. The date line is 194 and 1164. And I was saying at the time that this could be 49 and 410. So 49, if you go backwards, a lot of things they show are upside down, backwards, opposites, all kinds of stuff that are backwards or reverse of the way things normally are. And that's how they hide things, of course, hidden in plain sight. And so I thought this might be 4-9, and 4-9 plus 1 is 4-10. So the pre-day is 4-9. The first day is always a 1. So 4-9 plus 1 is 10. Take it with a 0. You have the first day. But and then I said in one of my last videos that it could be 419. Well, now I believe it's 419 on the Julian calendar, and I have some massive support in this whole video to show that. So 419 on the Julian calendar, and then you add 13 days. The difference between the Julian and the Gregorian is 13 days. I worked out the math and everything. Back in the day when it was switched over from the Julian to the Gregorian, it was about 11 days off, and then over some time, about a certain amount of sunlight loss and everything in a year, and you count that per day and how many years since then, and it's about 13-day difference. And that's perfect for the timeline, because the timeline is about 14 days, and so you end up being the last day of each. Anyway, I'm not getting into all that. It's a lot of complex stuff here. And so anyway, it's 419 on the Julian. And then what's this? So I'm saying that the Abraham Lincoln could possibly leave 419 on the Julian slash 418 slash 419, because the 18 would be the pre-day, 419 would be the first day. Again, 9 plus 1 is 10, which is 1. And then the day it gets attacked is right here. And that's 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 6, and then 4 right there. So again, backwards, that's 4, not completely backwards, but it's backwards with the whole numbers. 4 and 26. April 26, and then you add 16 days to that, and you get May 9th. Okay, so this would be 13 days to this would be May to the 19th, for example, would be May 2nd, and that would be the first day. And it would leave by then, and then I'm guessing, this is my best guess, and then it's going to be attacked 4/26 on the Julian, and then add 13 days to that, and you have May 9th. Okay, and again, this is to represent that as well, and I've said many times that the Pope would be reported dead on the 8th day, but I knew he was going to be dead soon, and I was off by a few days, but I didn't know that he was going to be the gate that predictably programs when Stinky Bo Obama necessarily was going to be killed. And his funeral was exactly on this day, and then 13 days later, I'm saying Stinky Bo, the 44th president, will be killed. Okay, so that's right here. And this is the timeline right here I'm showing right now. So in the Julian, you have basically, starts on the pre-day, 418, And this is the 100th day of the year with 257 days left over. And then the other first day is 419. Each event is a 2-day process, depending on the time zone and everything else and where you're at in the United States or in the world and all that. And then there's an event day and a reporting day. So each day is a 2-day event, a 2-day thing. So this 2-day first day is pre-day of 418 and 419. Day of the year, days left over. And then you have this whole Julian here through the May 3rd, 123rd day with the 242 days left over. And then you add 13 days to Julian, you get the Gregorian. So what we know, as far as most people in the world, are on the Gregorian, and some people, believe it or not, there's a few people on the Julian still in the world, but most people on the Gregorian, most of the civilized world is on the Gregorian. Anyway, so the first day, so again, 419, I just showed you, 13 days later is 5-2, the first day. And again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way down to the 14th day and the post day. Okay, so anyway, this is crazy. And then right here, it was the Pope's funeral, okay, on 426 a few days ago, and then that represents his death and everything, all his life and his death, everything represents, I believe, these events in May. And his death, or his funeral, it was his funeral, and it represents a death, and that's going to be his death of CKBO, I'm saying. And there's a lot of evidence to that, and we'll see how it works out. If it happens or not, it's still going to be the same numerology. Like I said before, I thought it was 410 and 49, because 1 plus 8 is 9, and 1 plus 9 is 10, but it ends up being, and then then you thought it might be on the Gregorian, but no, it's on the Julian. And that's where the numerology hits perfectly for 1, 2, 3, because again, 2 and 0 is 2, 2 and 1 is 3, 2 and 2 is 4, and then you have, but then when you have 13 days, this is off by 1. First day is on the second day is on the third, but this is really where the numerology starts correctly. First, second, third, all the way. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. So let's keep going. And then, like I said, by the fifth day, it's the 8th day right here. The 8th day on the Gregorian is 5/9, and it's the 129th day of the year. And by an international dateline where I'm saying they would be, the USS Abraham Lincoln would be roughly at the international dateline, is 129. And there it is, 5/9, the death of the USS Abraham Lincoln, and CKBO and Trumple would be 129, the 129th day of the year. That's a coincidence. And that's international dateline? I don't think so. And so 5/9 is the 129th day of the year. Okay, and also has a numerology of that day of 59 as well. 5/9 has a numerology of 59, because if you add 5 plus 9 plus 20 plus 25 and the whole date, you have 59. That's big. There's so much to this. And then so that's USS Abraham Lincoln, and I've shared over the years how they're both tied to each other. The USS Harry S. Truman, CVN, this is its actual number, CVN 75. And then the Abraham Lincoln CVN 72. But if you spell out this whole thing, USS Harry S. Truman CVN 75, you got 129 again, May 9th. Okay, that's 13 days earlier is this Pope's funeral. Okay, and that's representing the death. Okay, and then right here. Well, actually, I'll do this real quick. Okay, so again, like I shared in the previous videos, these are 2 aircraft carriers right here, one sinking and another sinking, and they're showing in 2 destinations, 2 places, because right here, again, this is the angles of an aircraft carrier, and it is back here as well, and this is Hawaii back here, and this is somewhere else. Okay. Hopefully you see that. These are angles of aircraft carriers. These are both sinking. And it looks like, they look like rock monoliths coming out, that's the case too, but it's hiding that these are 2 aircraft carriers sinking. And there are other scenes in the iPad Go that I've shown in past videos, even recent videos, that prove this even more, that these are submarines that attack these, and these are aircraft carriers that are sinking. It's in other scenes. So, and then like I showed, this right here, pointing to this, is the bottom half of Abraham Lincoln's face, and that's his nose, his mouth, and his beard right here. This Amish-looking beard here that he had. Anyway, boom. And then right here, Hawaii equals 666 in reverse English Sumerian, and New York equals 666, because it represents the birth of Stinky B.O., and he's going to be in Hawaii, and Trumple is going to be, he's going to die where he was born, because death is birth to these people, these psychos, these elites, these demon-possessed leaders, and all kinds of celebrities and everything else. Obama is going to most likely die where he was born, and HI is hiding right there, and that's also an aircraft carrier. So the USS Abraham Lincoln is going to be in the vicinity of that in HI, and then Trump, this woman and the dead boy represent in many ways Trump and Obama in their face and all kinds of stuff. The Super Bowl trophy, that's right. The Heisman, I mean the Lombardi trophy that's in her face, all kinds of stuff. And then this is little n, and Y for New York, and that's where Trump will die in Trump Tower in Manhattan on that same day. It will happen on May 8th, but it will be reported on May 9th. Okay, the 7th day is May 8th, and then even though it's off by one day because of the Julian calendars where the numerology is really correct, and then add 13 days to that. So May 8th is when they'll both be killed, and then the USS Harry S. Truman and the USS Abraham Lincoln, and they're all presidents. It's all about a death of a president that has to do with their. And by the way, Harry S. Truman was the 33rd president, and he was a definitely solid. Everybody knows 33rd degree Mason, and the 33rd president. And that's not planned, please. I have pictures showing him with his whole Masonic garb and everything. And also, he was the first to do nuxels against an enemy, and that's coming here on May 8th as well. And Truman was born on May 8th. In 1884, and the anniversary of his death is going to be the death of all these presidents in carriers and in the STKBO and in Trumbull, and that's 141 years, and World War III equals 141. Anyway, I'm going to get into that in a little bit here. Okay, so we have this. We also have, again, CVN 75 by itself is 65. Flip that upside down and backwards, and we got 59 again. Everything's upside down and backwards, opposites, all kinds of stuff. Here's even a recent article about, okay, so years ago, I said Abraham Lincoln and the Harry S. Truman would be attacked, and Lincoln would be completely destroyed and everybody killed, and then the Truman... I even had a dream about that, and I was there, and I was a sailor in the Abraham Lincoln, and it went down, and everybody died. And then Truman I was seeing all this predictive programming, even like the Truman Show with Jim Carrey and everything like that. All this all over the place, that the Truman would be attacked. And again, other people said other ones like the Ronald Reagan, all this stuff. It hasn't been in the news. The Harry S. Truman rams ship and was recently attacked a couple times supposedly by the Houthis, and now this Navy loses $60 million jet at sea. This just happened a couple days or yesterday actually. And then if you take this first paragraph I could do so much with this and prove this to you, but I'm just taking this first paragraph from CNN on this article here, this whole paragraph right here. Now watch. This is the whole paragraph just loaded right in here, and this is an English Sumerian. By the way, English Sumerian is 6 times English. So English is A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. English Sumerian is times 6. Antichrist is all about sixes and 666 and all that stuff. So everything times 6. So A equals 6, B equals 12, C equals 18, and so forth. And then this is the reverse of that. Z equals 6, and go backwards. Y equals 12. And all that. Okay, so right here, hiding right in plain sight for me to see this, because I don't see the code anymore. I see blonde, brunette, redhead. I don't see the matrix code anymore. I look at this stuff and I see what, especially in context. So for example, I look at this and I see several things. I see 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5, and then 1, and then 9 is hiding 2 plus 2 plus 5. And again, I'm going to show you many other things that support what I'm talking about than just this. You can say, oh, you can make numbers whatever you want. No, you can't. If it's in context to all these other things and all kinds of other references and things, and they all, like I try to do with my videos, I try to show a lot of evidence that points to the same kind of thing and the same kind of logic and everything. And yeah, a lot of people can make numbers whatever, but that's not what I'm doing here. And then 1 plus 4 is 5, and then here's 9, and then 7 is also 2 plus 5. So this is 5-1, 2025, and 5-9, 2025. Also, if you look at this, just this FA-18 Super Hornet fighter, again, these are predictive programming stories and all these news events that happen all the time. They're the predictive programming to the outcome that they want. They're guiding society and everything to the outcome they want. One world government, one world dictator, one world religion. all this stuff, okay? And so this right here is not only in gematria, it's also a first letter code that's amazing. And I'm the only one I know out there that does first letter code, and this is phenomenal. So the 100, we're talking about what's being programmed with all these different events, with the USS Abraham Lincoln and the Truman and all that, is the first day and then the day they're attacked. So the first day, the 122nd day of the year, is May 2nd. Again, May 1st and May 2nd we're talking about. And then the day they're attacked is backwards 5. And then with rule of Colel, I can get rid of this 1, or even this 1. Okay, we get rid of this 1. And it's 5-9. Again, May 9th. Or 5, because we're going this way, 5, 1 from 9 is 8. That's how this works. So it's 5, 8, and 5, 9 is what this is showing secretly. Okay, and then watch this. This is the first letter code. So F is 1, F is 6, A is 1, then you have 18, and then S is the 19th letter, A is the 8th, F is 6. Okay, now watch this. Now again, we're going backwards here. We're going, not again, but we're going backwards here. Well, most of these things are backwards. This is forward, but see how this is backwards? There's a common thread with a lot of these things. Most of these things are backwards. Here and there, they're forward, but most of the time they're backwards, because it's easier to hide. And even if you knew this stuff in the first place, and then it's backwards. So 8 plus 6 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Now let's go over here. Anything I could have put up the rule of the rule of nines, but anything you add 9 to stays the same. For example, 1 plus 9 is 10, and take away the 0, and you're back to 1. So we'll just get rid of the 9. And then 1 plus 8 is 9. And then since we're going backwards, 1 from 6, again, just like in Roman numerals, you have I from X, which is 1 from 10, is 9, and that's how that works. And this is all Roman anyway. Rise Roman Empire, that's all coming anyway. 1 from 6, so we're going backwards here. We go 5, and then 1 and 9. 1 from 6 is 5. So what do we have here? We have literally 5, 9, 5, 9. 5-1 or 1st of May, and 5-2 or 2nd of May. See, 5-1, 5-2, 5-9, 5-8, and 5-9. Okay, it's all over the place. And then the fact that these carriers are USS is English ordinal. 21 plus 19 plus 19 is 59. Again, look, the attack day of May 9th. And that is another massive coincidence. And USS stands for United States Ship. And then look, 65 is upside down and backwards 59 again. Again, attack on May 9th, May 9th. And then what's this? 2, and then 2 plus 3 is 5, or 2-5. That's either the year or 2nd of May. So May 9th or 2nd of May, or May 2nd backwards, or 5-9-25. The attack of, see how this can be either the day and month or the year. A lot of these numbers are like that. This is day and month or year of 2 plus 23 is 25. Okay, and then USS, let's spell out the whole USS Harry S. Truman. USS is 59. Harry is 65, which is upside down and backwards again. 59, 59, 59. May 9th, May 9th. That's all a coincidence? I don't think so. And then what's this? S is 1, and 1 plus 4 is 5. 1, 5. And then Truman just happens to be backwards 2025. 225. So this is backwards 5-1, and this is backwards 225 or 2025. So we have basically May 9th, May 9th, May 1st, 2025. So we have May 9th and May 9th, 2025, and 5-1, 2025, all hidden in USS Harry S. Truman. Believe it or not. And then this was crazy. This, after I did that last video before this one, a few days went by, and then there was this earthquake, and I looked up some things about this earthquake in San Diego, and I could not believe what I saw. Occasionally they show me these things that are so clear to me that I'm blown away. They're literally showing, and I was talking about in my last video that the USS Abraham Lincoln would leave San Diego, and it would be on the first day, and San Diego equals 419 and 410 and stuff like that in all kinds of ways. And I'll show you in a second. And so it's showing me the first day San Diego is 419 on the Julian, and then 5-2 or May 2nd on the Gregorian. It was showing me that. I was like, what? There's a town named Julian in San Diego County. I was just talking in the video about USS Abraham Lincoln leaving San Diego because it's programming you. So San Diego, just basically, even though it's several ways, but I'm going to show you just basically. SD, first letter code. S is 19 and D is 4. C, 419. 419 on the Julian, like I said, was the first day on the Julian, and then equals May 2nd. 19th of April, or April 19th, add 13 days is May 2nd. Crazy. See, 419 add 13 days, you got May 2nd. And 426 add 13 days, you got 59. You can see this commonly in this video. It's crazy. Okay, now watch. And then Julian for the town, but also the Julian calendar, is 5/9 or 9th of May. And then I'm like, oh, maybe pull up Gregorian. It's going to have something to do with... Look. Oh my goodness, look at that. 4 in the middle of 19. 419 is Gregorian. 419 or even 149 is Antichrist. Antichrist is 149 in reverse ordinal also, just like Gregorian. And 5/9. But also, not only is Gregorian the first day in the Julian 419, 4 in the middle of 19, or 4, like San Diego 419, it's also 1 plus 4 is 5 and 9, 5/9. It's also the same. Gregorian is not only 149, which is the first day on the Julian, but it's also 5/9 on the, which is the attack day on the Gregorian. Crazy. 5/9, 5/9. Julian saying something about the death of the Antichrist on 5/9. She is saying about the birth of the Antichrist on the first day, 419 on the Julian, and 5/9, 5/9, 9/5 on the Gregorian. Crazy. And so how appropriate. The Antichrist will be born in May, which is 419 on the Julian. You add 13 days of that, and you have 5/2, just like that 5.2 earthquake. 5/2. And then what's 121? 121 is May 1st. May 1st, the 121st day of the year, 121st day of the year, and then 419 on the Julian, add 13 days, you got May 2nd. Again, first day, second day, or pre-day and first day. Antichrist born on May 1st. And again, like I said, 4/9 is 1 plus 4 is 5 and 9. Also, so you got birth of the Antichrist and the death of the Antichrist, one of his birthdays. And then when CBO dies, a few days later, lightning falls from heaven. The Satan's going to be kicked out of heaven on the 12th/13th of May, and he's going to come down as like a lightning bolt and then strike his dead body, and then he's going to come back to life as the devil incarnate, the Antichrist. Okay. And then this is a depiction of that as well in the movie in a Minecraft movie that came out recently. He sent his wolf Dennis back. I'm gonna get into that, but Dennis is also equals Antichrist, but I'm gonna get to that right now. Oh, hold on a second here. I had to pause that because I didn't put it on airplane mode, so I didn't want to get notifications and disrupt my recording here. So anyway, in a Minecraft movie, which is basically 5/1 and 5/2. It's either a mirror date of 5/1 and 5/2, or you go backwards. Again, rule of Colel, you can take away any one. So if you take away this one, it's May 2nd or 2nd of May, or go backwards. 1 from May 2nd is May 1st. A Minecraft movie. So the birth of the Antichrist on May 1st and May 2nd. And then it just happens to be that the main character is named Steve. And Steve is literally the day the Pope's funeral was, 426. Okay, because that's the day the Antichrist will die. 13 days later, so that's the 426 or April 26 on the Julian. Add 13 days, and you have 5/9. Okay, this is also 5/9 right here. When I'll show you what it is in a second. That's his mailbox. You can see it a little bit up close, because his mailbox is, look, Antichrist. I said earlier, I showed you that 149 in reverse English ordinal is Antichrist. So Steve, and why is Steve the Antichrist? Because Obama has said in the past that he is Steve. He just kind of jokingly, I am Steve. And because Steve actually equals 5/9, and it also equals something else backwards. It's like 5, 12, 20, 25 backwards or something. It's right in here in the full breakdown of his name. 5, 22, 5. Anyway, it's all in there. Anyway, I can't cover everything in this video. It's just too much stuff. Hey, back to this 149, which is Antichrist. And in the movie, he says he said to his dog or his wolf. Again, the wolf is symbolized of the evil one. The now it used to be in the Bible before it was changed. The lion will lay down with the lamb, and now it's the wolf will lay down with the lamb, because that represents the Antichrist, and how it's been changed as well. And so Dennis, the wolf, comes back, but when he's in this other world, he hides this cube, this orb, which is in the shape of a cube, because everything in Minecraft is a cube, in at his home back on Earth. And he goes to his home and he says, "You take this to 149 Hollyoak Drive." And Hollyoak Drive equals 149. And Antichrist in reverse ordinal is 149, and it's 149, so it's 149, 149. 149 Hollyoak Drive is 149, 149. Antichrist, or Antichrist on 419 on the Julian, and then add 13 days is 5-2. Antichrist on May 2nd, or Antichrist, or May 2nd, or whatever. That's what this is saying. It's crazy. It's right here. See, May 2nd, because it's 419 on the Julian. That's what I'm saying. Okay, whatever. And here's something that's amazing. This guy did, I can't remember his name right now. He did this thing called the Lord's Perfect Sign. This was the tetrad blood moons that happened in 2014 and 2015 on Passover and Sukkot. And this was the most perfect lineup of eclipses and actually solar and lunar eclipses. And there's more to this whole chart, but these are perfectly balanced on either side of this, because it represents I was going to show a birth down the road, and I knew this. I've shared this in the past, but I didn't know. For example, see these eclipses on either side. This is 1122 days from the midpoint of this, and 1122 days there was one over here, and then 1299 days over here, and then 1299 days over here. There's a lot of reasons for all this. I'm not going to get into this right now, but I just want us to focus on this one right here, which is this. Okay, so from the very midpoint of these tetrad blood moons in these two years in a row, which was on Passover and Sukkot, on these exact Jewish feasts, exact days, Passover and Sukkot. I mean, hello, sign from God, without a doubt, if you didn't know that. And then not only is this midpoint, this is representing a birthday, because this direction to this one is this lunar eclipse is 266 days, and from this midpoint, and from the same midpoint going back to this one is 266 days. Why does that matter? Because I've been talking about a twin birth for a long time, and then when I saw this, it confirmed that, because the gestation of twins and my wife had twins. We had twins after I was talking about this. It's crazy. We had them in 2019, and I was talking about this back in on YouTube back in 2018, early 2018 going into 2019, and we had our twins in May of 2019, and they're coming on the anniversary of their 6th year, and this is all perfect timing, because they were born in this month, and the timing of the birth, the 5-1, they were born on May 10th, 5-1, and then they came home. The Lord told me it was significant. That would be the 5th month, 11th day, with the birth of the Antichrist and the twin birth. The two evil ones is represented by the Pope and Stinky B.O., the 44th President Obama, and also the good and the bad, the man-child birthed into heaven, and the Antichrist birthed on Earth. So it's two different kinds of twins. They have several kinds of twins that are all out there in the world, and movies and TV and everything. Twins are all over the place for this symbolism. So you got 266 days for this twin and 266 days for that twin. And who are the twins? Well, here's one of them, the 266th Pope. Again, gestation period for twins is 266 days on average. Okay, so he's one of the twins. Well, he died. I thought they might die on the same day, but no, he made way, and he was predicted programmed for the other twin, the other evil twin, and one is white and one is black. Again, yin and yang. Okay, but first off, you see the white and red and white, and he just happened to die or reported dead on 421 backwards, and you see all this red and white, and there is a little yellow right here, but it's mainly red and white. Now let's cover that. Well, let's do this first. Red and white is 111 and 666. Again, 666 is associated with he's the false prophet, and CKBO is going to be the Antichrist, and he'll be his false prophet when he comes, when Obama dies, and then he'll come back to life, and he'll raise him from the dead, like I've said. And the 111th day of the year is 421. Okay, and that represents 666. Okay, do you see me? Do you hear me? Okay, and then if you add the yellow, it's red, white, yellow, and look, we have 418 and 419 backwards exactly. The pre-day and the first day on the Julian calendar. So then you add, of course, you add 13 days to that, and you get 5-1 and 5-2. Again, the Pope represents so many things, and I'm not going to even show you so many things because it would be 5-hour video or more of all the things he represents about their birth in this time, or their eventually Obama's death, which is basically 18 days later from his funeral, from his death, which is 6 + 6 + 6, and then they both come back to life, which will be 21 days later from his death, which is 7 + 7 + 7, or 777. It's all about godlike status. 66 going from 666 to 777. Anyway, you'll see a bunch of 777s I'm going to share that are mind blowing. Okay, anyway, and then red, white, and so we had red, white, yellow. Now we have red, white, and yellow. Again, it's all in all kinds of forms. We have 5, 2 + 6 is 8, 5, 8, and 5, 3 + 6 is 9, or 1 from 5, 9 is 5, 8. So we have 5, 8 represented, and 5, 9, because the rule of Colel, you can take away 1 away, and then 5, 3 + 6 is 9. So 5, 8, and 5, 9, or 5, 8, 5, 8, and 5, 8. Okay, and what's 256? 256 is the day that's left over on 419. 419, the pre-day, add 13 days to that is 5-2. Okay, but the 109th day of the year is 419 with 256 days left over. See how it's related in many ways? These numbers are, like I like to call them, they're this incestuous numbers. They create each other. They're multiple versions of each other in all kinds of ways, and that's when I know the timeline's exquisite, and it's what the enemy has planned, and in a lot of ways that God has planned. There's two sides of a coin: dark side that's on the bottom and the light side, and they're both coming up with their ways to do things for people. One's good, one's bad, but they work right alongside each other. And these numbers work for good and bad. It depends on which side and what you're using them for, and everything. But a lot of these numbers I'm showing you are for bad intentions. Okay, so, and then Pope Francis, again, 122. I just showed you 122 earlier. What was, remember? Oh, back here? Remember this back here? 122? Oh, wow, I went too far. No, 121. See, 122, and I also showed you 122. Yeah, this is farther than I thought. Okay, let's keep going here. Sorry. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, we got past that. Okay, so 122, again, 121, like you just saw there a second, was 5-1. 122nd day of the year, which is Pope Francis, 122nd day of the year, again, 5-2, again. And look, 5-1, or 1st of May, okay? And Pope Francis in full reduction and reverse full reduction is the death day. The death day of CKBO is 5-8 and reported on 5-9. So he represents the birth of the Antichrist and the death, and he had to go first. He had to go first because he's the door. In fact, in iPad Goat, when the Antichrist figure comes in the cathedral with the boat, the opening of the cathedral is on the outline of the Pope's head with this fish hat, Dagon fish hat. And I thought it was their birth at the same time, but no, the entrance was already there, and he is birthed in that way. If you see my videos in the past, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, and then also right in here is the numerology and all these dates for May. It's insane. I couldn't believe when I realized I was like, duh. Right here is 1st of May, right here. Oh, wait, before I do that. Wait, let's do this before. Okay, yeah, 266 and 266, the two twins. The 266th Pope, and how is this guy 266? Because it's 2 6s and 1 6. 2 6s and 1 6 is 666. So they're both twins. See, again, yin and yang. See that? Light and dark. Yeah, anyway, all kinds of representations I could say. Okay, and so this is also crazy. This is Francis's birthday, and this is Obama's birthday. Okay, now watch this. So before I do this real quick, just to throw this in here, Francis was born on December 17th. But if you basically go 1, 2, and 1 plus 7 is 8, 128, the 128th day of the year is May 8th when Stinky BO dies. These guys are inexorably linked. I've shown so many. This is just a few things. And then again, anything you add 9 to stays the same. To get rid of 9, 136, the 136th day of the year is May 16th when they both are shown to the world. It's May 16th. The last days of the timeline are 15th and 16th. But then the tribulation starts on the 17th. And so the Stinky BO and the United States is destroyed on the 15th, 16th, the last 2 days. And then the 16th going to the 17th is the last day of the timeline going to the first day of the tribulation. And the May 16th is the 136th day of the year, okay, with 229 days left over. And 229 is Barack Obama in reverse English, 229. And that's the 136th day of the year is May 16th with 229 days left over. Barack Obama. And then Barack Hussein Obama equals 163. Anyway, so many crazy things. Anyway, boom, get rid of those. But anyway, like I said, Francis, his month and day equals 128, was death on May 8th. And they both come back to life and in front of the world on the 136th day of the year, May 16th / May 17th. Crazy. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Wow. Now I have so many of these kind of things, but I'm going to show you a few of these that just inexorably connect these two together. Like, you cannot debate it. You cannot debate it. Sorry, you cannot debate it. It's insane. And they're mind-blowing. I've shown over the time. And I have over 1,000 now solid evidences that Barack Hussein Obama, the 44th Prez, is the Antichrist. I have over 1,000 solid evidences. Nobody else comes anywhere near close. Nobody. So if you take their dates here, now I'm going to take, I just like, so I do this one time and I couldn't believe what I found. And I've done so many different versions of this in their numbers, all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. So anyway, watch this. So if we take this as a number, December 17th as 1217, 1217 plus 84 equals 1301. Okay, 1301. And then you take the year and his year of Francis and his year of Obama, 1936 plus 1961, 1936 plus 1961, you get 3897. Now this one is pretty much reduced. This one can be reduced a little bit. That's the trick here. Is 3 plus 8 is 11 and 9 plus 7 is 16. So 3 plus 8 is 11, 9 plus 7 is 16, 1116. So what are these? 1301 is, in Strong's Concordance, 1301 is Barack. And this is magic coincidence. By the way, if you don't know Strong's lexicon, it is it's usually in King James version of the Bible, and it's just basically all the words in the Bible defined. That's called a lexicon or a concordance. So Strong's lexicon, Barack is the 1301 word in the Hebrew. Okay, now what's 1116? You won't believe this. If you don't understand how amazing this is, I don't know what to tell you. 1116 is Bama. And they're both in Hebrew. Bama. Barack Bama. And then the transition is U for lightning from heaven. Lightning is also a name of somebody, but also 1300 is lightning, but 1301 is Barack also, but it's a name, which also means lightning. So lightning from heaven, Obama, and that's what Jesus said in Luke 10:18. I see Satan as Barack Obama, and it just happens to be his name. And anyway, whatever. Look at this. Look at this. You add these two together and you get 1301 and 116, and you literally have Barack. I mean, are you kidding me? Do you actually think that's a massive off-the-charts coincidence? No, it can't be. Here's another one that's not a massive off-the-charts coincidence. You have the Obama's known birth, as we've been told. Who knows what it really is because he's a clone. Okay, but you add 6 years, and then this translates into how many days? 6 years, 66 months, those are days, 666 weeks, 6,666 days, 66,666 hours, and I did all the math on this. The Lord led me to do this. 666,666 minutes and 6 million, and those translate to days. And if you go from Obama's birth and you add all these sixes like this, all the way to seconds, you get the day the Pope became the Pope. And that is a coincidence? No, this proves they're linked. This is impossible. This is off the charts, quadrillions to one or more, whatever it's called, whatever you call it. And then watch this. This is the date Obama announced. On the antithesis to this, you have Obama's birth to the date as far his office, right? His office of the Pope, and Obama's birth to his office, right? The Pope's office as the Pope. Or he was just Jorge Mario Bergoglio as a guy, whatever, right? And then you have Stinky Bo. He announced he was running for president on this day. And when you mine this 666 months, 666 weeks, and 666 days, you get the birth of the Pope. Bam, bam, impossible. These guys are linked in so many ways. Oh, look at the little horns. You see the little most people wouldn't notice this, but little horns on his head right there. See the little horns from the M in time. And that's on purpose, I should say. And then, so Pope represents in iPad Go, him dying represents the coming first day. He represents Lily. And then Obama represents darkness from the movie Legend. Lily, that was her name in Legend, the movie Legend, back with Tom Cruise and everything, back in 80s or whatever. And it's spelled differently, Lili, but it's still Lily. And that's an iPad Go, the girl in the white dress. Okay, and he is in white. And then look at this. This was not a coincidence. It was right in front of the Air Force sign and looked like darkness. Obama equals darkness. I have so many connections to this stuff. It's insane. I'm not going to get into all of them. But Legend, okay? Legend, from the movie Legend. And Legend, the first and last letter code is 4. D is 4. And L is 12 backwards, 421. And the Pope or Lily died on 421. The Pope died on 421. Okay, and then there's so many more, but I'm not getting into all that. And then this is Lily dying when she's giving birth to the Antichrist, which is the apple, or when it rolls, you see it has stripes. It looks like Jupiter. The Jupiter coming out of the Revelation 12 sign, the Virgin. Okay, so this was on Easter, which is 20th of April. I'm doing it this way on purpose. 20th of April is Easter, and the Pope dies. He literally died on this day because when he was reported dead, it was 7:30 a.m. in Rome exactly, and so that is 11:35 p.m. where I'm at on Mountain Time in the United States. And why is that important? Because I've been showing for a while, for years, that Mountain Time in the United States is shown in iPad Goat specifically. Other time frames or time zones are shown as well in different ways, but as far as the almost exact midpoint of time zones, United States is Mountain Time. You got Central and Eastern on one side, you got Pacific, and then all the way to the Hawaii time zone, which is another hour after that, but it's roughly in the middle. It's the closest to the middle you can get, really. Either that or Central, but Pacific, but it's Mountain Time, and I'm going to show you why. But anyway, so he's technically based on our time, because it's based, all this stuff that happens in this time frame of this timeline is about the demise of Mystery Babylon, which is United States, which kicks off not only the birth of the Antichrist, which comes from the United States. He's one of the presidents, which is Stinky Bo, the belly of the beast. They do the ritual, the raising of Osiris ritual every time there's an inauguration in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. and the White House and all that stuff is all a big pentagram upside down. All kinds of stuff if you don't know this. And then so he's going to come out of here, and then the United States is sacrificed, and then he's going to lead the world. And when the United States, the Mystery Babylon is destroyed to kick off the tribulation, if you don't know that. Anyway, so then let's keep going here. And so he died on they say exactly 7:35, which is backwards. Again, backwards. 5, 7 plus 3 is 10, or represents May 1st. Okay, watch this. And then which would be over here, a Mountain Time is 5 May 13th less 1, or if you go this way, you go 1 from 13th of May is 12th. So again, the birth of the Antichrist is May 12th and May 13th. Lightning fall from heaven, Barack Obama, tsunamis and everything that happened. By the way, if you want to see my whole timeline from May 1st to May 16th, the whole timeline pre to post day and the 14 days in between, is pinned to the top of comments on this video. On this video only, the most current one. Pinned to the top of comments on this video, okay? And then the link in the description box below for the Telegram is there, and some other stuff, including other links and stuff, and in this, any kind of support if you want to give me support for my family and such. But let's talk about that at the end anyway. Let's keep going. And then also, Stinky BO is from Hawaii, and it's also about the birth of this. He's the beast from the sea, and Hawaii is in the sea, or the ocean, or the sea in a sense, like the Bible would say. And it's exactly 12 hours earlier to PM. So that's another reason why it was 4:20 on Easter, the birth of the Antichrist on Easter, which was 7:35 PM again, which is 5:10 or 5:01. Okay, and then also up here, the date it happened was reported dead is also 2, and 1 plus 4 is 5. So the date is 5:2 backwards, and the time is 5:10 or 5:01. So again, 5:1 and 5:2. That's what it represents secretly, of course. And then here it is. Here's the time of midnight, okay, on the clock tower in the mountain. In the mountain. There's even a crescent shape of the moon that represents something that's I'm going to get into right now, because there's so much I could talk about. It's crazy. There's exact crescent that's happening on this particular day that's showing right the crescent of the moon at mountain time, and then it's midnight. And I'm going to show you this. And then see this right when this flag over here is ripped, it's in the shape of a heart. And what's the deal with heart? And all over, I thought for a long time that it might be Valentine's Day around that time. This is in the shape of a heart right there, because the Pope died on the 21st of April, which is the same numerology as Valentine's Day. See, 214. See a different. 21st of April is 214. Valentine's Day is February 14th. See the numerology. It's all about the numerology. It's whatever these events represent in numerology, not the events themselves. Whatever these events represent in numerology, and it's all about the numerology that they worship. And then ultimately that's what it represents. That's why there's so many hearts in iPad Goat. Where the Antichrist has a heart within a heart within a heart on his chest in iPad Goat. That's why the old lady in the tower has a red heart blinking like she's in the red light district. There's a heart blinking 3 times, and other things. It's all over. It's symbolism of 214 for Valentine's Day, but it's really 21st of the death of the Pope, symbolizing the first day. And what does this ultimately symbolize? 2, and then 1 plus 4 is the first day of the 2nd of May. See? 21st of May, or 21st of April, and then 214, and then, or any of these and all these, but ultimately it's hiding this day, I believe. 2nd of May. See? Okay, we'll see. I can only do the best with what I'm shown by the breadcrumbs from the Lord and everything like that. So, again, midnight shown on the clock tower, and then midnight clock tower. Again, these are the 2 subjects, and then I'm going to show it midnight on clock tower. Okay, midnight, and you don't have to say the necessarily, or the 2 subjects. Midnight clock tower, that's how gematria works. And look, it ends up being 277, or 2 7 plus 7 is 14. See, 214 even supporting even more. Midnight on clock tower, midnight clock tower. And then what? And then what's this? This is the first day, because it's 2. 1 plus 4 is 5. 2, 5, and the last day 5. 12 plus 4 is 16. I'm not going to put it right there because it's easy to talk about. This is a little bit more complicated for some people. So 2, 14, or 2, 1 plus 4 is 5. 2nd of May, and May 12 plus 4 is 16. First day of May 2nd. It's May 1st and May 2nd, but May 1st and then May 16th, the last day. And then midnight on clock tower is not only 5, 1 plus 4 is 5, and then 2 plus 8 is 10, or 501, or get rid of the 0, is 51, May 1st, and May 2nd, May 2nd, May 1st, May 2nd. And then this is also May 2nd, so May 1st, and this is May 2nd hiding, because May on the Roman calendar is the 3rd month. So May the 3rd month and the 2nd. See, that's another way to hide it. Also, Obama's 23. He supposedly wore a 23 jersey when he's playing basketball in high school, because he's born on the 2nd. 23 is the 2nd of the 3rd month, May. Makes sense? Hopefully you do. Hey, these are valid because, hey, do you really believe that September, which means in Latin septem, which is 7, and we call it the 9th month, do you think that's not on purpose and to be deceptive? I mean, why would they do that? Why would they make October, which everybody knows octo is 8, but they make it the 10th month? It's because they're messing with you, because they're showing you the Roman calendar and without you realizing it, you're like, duh. I mean, December should be the 10th month, but no, in the Gregorian it's the 12th month. It absolutely makes no sense, but it does to them because they're programming you and they're secretly showing you should get this and you should get that. That's what they're really going by, but you don't. But but they kind of secretly show it in your face a little bit by that obviousness. It's obvious to me, but for most people it's not obvious. Those 4 months, September, October, November, December, those 4 months are obviously the wrong numbers, okay, on purpose, because that's what they really go by. So anyway, and then back to this silly picture again, to show this, that they actually got married on that day on September 23rd, 2015, and they're going to consummate that when they come back together in front of the world on May 16th, last 17th, okay? And by the way, so as far as the Pope equaling Lily, the Pope, which is 58, the death of the Antichrist. Again, he represents the death of the Antichrist on May 8th, or 8th of May, equals Lily, an iPad goat, and she's dying as she's dropping the apple. And that also represents the death of Lilibet. Lilibet is the queen who died on who was born on 421. And that's a birth, and they believe death is birth. The queen died. The queen was born on 421, and the Pope died on 421, and that's Lilibet. Her name was Lilibet, or Lily for short, or Elizabeth. Lilibet is also Elizabeth. Lilibet is what the King of England called her when he was the king and she was the princess. Okay, and then so we have Pope's funeral was on 426. Again, it's the death day and reported death day. The Pope's funeral is on the 26th. And then over here is the reported death day, or the death day of CBO on 5/8, and his reported death on 5/9. So I'm showing it covers both days for Obama's death, but see how it goes right across. Pope's funeral, and then 13 days later, Obama's reported death right there, right across. Okay, and then also, so what I could show you earlier was all these numbers. There's all these dates in May. This is 1st of May, or May 1st, and right here backwards. So this is backwards. May 12th and May 1st. May 12th, and these are two births. I've said this is the birth because it's 266 days that way, 266 days that way, and that's twin birth. That's gestation of twins is 266 days. So again, backwards, May 12th, because lightning falls from heaven on the 11th day, which is the 12th, because first day starts on the 2nd, it's off by 1 as far as numerically, because it goes back to the Julian being on the right numerology. The 19th is 1 plus 9 is 10, and which is take away the 0 is 1. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. Sorry. So it's confusing for people. I get it. But 5/1. So first day, and then the birth of the Antichrist, lightning fall from heaven on the 12th day of May. So 5/1 and 5/12. And then let's go down here. This is insane. Watch this. 1 plus 4 is 5, and then 4, and we could just do it this way. 5 plus 1 plus 4 is 10. Take away the 0. 5/1. Backwards. 5. Boom. 5/9. See, 4 plus 1 is 5. We're going backwards. 8 plus 1 is 9. 5/1 and 5/9. First day, death day. And in this case, it's based on the birth and a birthday. In the timeline, there's a few different birthdays. And this is the very birth of the very first day, and then the birth, lightning fall from heaven, where lightning falls and he goes into his dead body, and the Antichrist possesses Obama's dead body and becomes the Antichrist. Anyway, now backwards again. 5, 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. 5/9. And then what's this backwards? 5, and then we have 1, and then what's this? Boom, 5/2, because we have 5, 1. We just add them up. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 2 is 11, plus 9 is 20, and take away the 0, 5/2. So look, we have these are birthdays because this represents a birth, and then we have birth, death, 5/1 birth, 5/2 birth, 5/9 death, 5/9 death, May 9th, May 1st, May 2nd, May 1st, May 12th. I mean, hopefully you're following this. This is insane. And then from that midpoint of the tetrad blood moons of January 5th, 2015, to May 9th, the death, like I said, May 9th right here, any of these May 9ths, okay, is 3,777 days. Again, 777. I'm going to show you more 777s. It's crazy. And then if you go from the midpoint to September 9th, 2017, okay, which is what? Okay, so midpoint of the blood moon, tetrad blood moons to that is 3777. Okay, then you go the center point of the blood moons to when Jupiter was birthed out of Virgo. So Jupiter entered Virgo back in November 20th, 2016, bounced around in Virgo for basically a human gestation period of about 9 months, 9 months and some change, and then Jupiter came out between the legs, like the birth of the Antichrist, like Revelation. It's called the Revelation 12 sign in the book of Revelation in chapter 12. Okay, and then Jupiter exited Virgo on 9/9/2017. So if you go from the midpoint of the blood moons, that has a perfect balance, the symmetry, God's perfect sign, to when Jupiter was born out of Virgo, again, birth, that represents the birth I've said, because 266 on either side, twins, and then to this birth right here, Jupiter coming out of Virgo. Jupiter is the god Jupiter. It's also the planet Jupiter, the king planet, representing the birth of the faithful up into heaven, as the Antichrist is kicked down, and he's the god Jupiter coming down as the Antichrist, okay? And that is 978 days. Why does that matter? What's 978? Well, 978 is Barack Hussein Obama, the Antichrist. And 978 is also 9, 7 plus 8 is 15, or backwards 5. Get rid of the 1, 5, 9, or 5, 1 from 9 is 5, 8. 5, 8 and 5, 9, and also 5, get rid of the 9, or 5, 1 plus 9 is 10, take away the 0, 5, 1. So that is hiding, Barack Hussein Obama and Nina Sumerian is hiding 5, 19 backwards, or 5, 1 from 9, or 5, 9, we'll call it take away the 1, which is 5, 8, 5, 9, and 5, 1, get rid of the 9. All these dates: birth, death, death. Death day and reported death day. See, it just keeps showing up. How many times have I showed this already? And then another way of looking at this is Jupiter, when I showed you earlier, was 9/9. It was like most of the way through. But when it first breaks the plane of this, and again, this is on software and all this kind of stuff, and it's represented. It's not necessarily what is seen in space, because these are false lines and everything. These are not real lines and everything, but this is just representation. They go by representation. It's all about how things are represented and everything. So hopefully that makes sense. On this day, so if you go from, because this is technically, and there's a number of, for example, representing the birth of Jupiter on 9/8 was the death of the Queen 5 years later on 9/8. Lily, okay, 9/8. She died. The Queen died 5 years later on exactly 9/8, representing Jupiter. It was true that Jupiter started coming out of between the legs on 9/8/2017. The Queen died on 9/8. 5 years later, 9/8/2022. I'm telling you, believe it or not. And so from that day, the actual date, September 8th, that the Queen died, but on this year, when Jupiter was started coming out of Virgo, to the Revelation 12 sign of September 23rd, 2017 is 15 days, or 1st of May. Again, birthday. See, there's a reason for all this stuff. Okay, so this is the Revelation 12 sign, September 23rd, 2017. Okay, and the reason I'm sharing this is because, this way, it was Saturn, because this is an alignment including Saturn. But nobody got this except for me. And no one, they were like, oh, alignment of these planets. No, it's these 5 planets: Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Venus, and the Sun and the Moon, all lined up. That was a Revelation 12 sign alignment. Okay? And Saturn's way down here. Why is that important? Well, it's important for a number of reasons, including the numerology of gematria, of all these things. These were all named this way for gematria. And other things, and some symbolisms and all kinds of stuff. It's just, it's crazy. Let me show you this. So start with here: Venus, Mars, Mercury, Sun, Jupiter, Moon, Saturn. Venus, Mars, Mercury, Sun, Jupiter, Moon, Saturn. If you didn't include Saturn, you wouldn't have this full gematria. Now watch, what's this? When you put this all in gematria, English gematria is 5, 3 plus 8 is 11, or 5, 2. And then 3 plus 2 is 5, and then 2 plus 8 is 10, or 5, 1. 5, 1 and 5, 2 is the birth of the Antichrist on May 1st and May 2nd, with all these things lined up, all put together. together. See, if you don't have Saturn, I could show it to you, but it wouldn't make this. It wouldn't make anything that was coherent necessarily. But with those two, I know that's what it's showing, 5-1 and 5-2. Okay, then we have this thing. This passed right by during this time. This particular asteroid. Sorry, it was a comet. That's a comet. And if you convert 9 to spelling out 9 and 6 to spelling out 6, and then PC, this is all gematria, 9-6 PC Machholz, okay, you have the first day of, go backwards, 419, and then we look how you can take away this one. 419 on the Julian is the first day on the Julian, or go left to right. 1 from 19th of April is 18th of April. So again, 419 and 418 add 13 days is 5-1 and 5-2, like I just showed you right here, 5-1 and 5-2. And then also, and then it's the last day, the reverse English of this whole thing spelled out, because 9 converted to spelled out to 9 and 6 to 6, and the whole thing is 5 in the middle of 16, the last day. So you have the first day in Julian, add 13 days is 5-1 and 5-2, and then 5 in the middle of 16. And another thing, this is also, I'm going to get to this a little soon here. This is 156. Why does that matter? The 156 prime is 9, 1, and then 1. I have to say it that way, 9, 1, and then 1. The attack that happened in the United States is 9, 1, and then 1. And 9, 1, and then 1 is the 156 prime. And in the 156, in 156, being 9/11, the 156 prime is all of these dates in May, including 5 in the middle, 156 for the one, which represents the 156 prime, 9, 1, and then 1, is 5 in the middle of 16. And I'm going to show that more to you. But like I showed you here, first day, 419, and 1 from 19th of April is 418, 419, and 516. So 418, 419 on the Julian over here is 5-1 and 5-2, and then last day is 5 in the middle of 16. 5 in the middle of 16. See, 5 in the middle of 16, or 516. See, and again, Barack Obama in reverse English is 229. And this is the year the Pope was born, 136 or 1936. You take away the 9, you got 136. The Pope, and you got Barack Obama. I mean, it's just crazy. This is when they're both going to come on the scene right here. There's so much in all this. This is LC, and I go. Okay, and then from the Revelation 12 sign to the first day of the timeline is 2777. I just showed you 377. I just showed you, look. 3777. Look, from the midpoint of the blood moons to the death of the Antichrist. Midpoint of the blood moons to the death of the Antichrist. Reported death of the Antichrist. 3777. And now, from the Revelation 12 sign, okay, to the first day, again, that was May, remember all this May 1st and May 9th? Or May 1st and May 1st and May 9th? And that was to May 9th. And then now the Revelation 12 sign to May 1st. 2,777. Again, he wants to be a god. 777 is godlike status. If you've ever seen the name Jehovah in Hebrew, it looks like 777. And Stinky BO is a wannabe god. In fact, I'm going to show you that in a second. He's going to be the god of this world, incarnated into a human being for a short time. 42 months, including the other 42 months, but I mean, not including the other 42 months, but 7 years of tribulation. So anyway, and then we have the X that X'd out United States, from which this is the Great American Eclipse on August 21st, 2017. So let's take that date and let's go to the death of the Antichrist. So that date to the death of the Antichrist is 7 years, 7 months, 7 weeks. Now, 7 days later is the birth of the Antichrist with the false prophet to the world is May 16th, and that's another 7 days. So from the first Great American Eclipse, the one of the two lines that made the X, to when the Antichrist and the false prophet are put in front of the world, the 16th going into the 17th is 7 years, 7 months, 7 weeks, and 7 days, and that's a massive coincidence? I don't think so. And then now we're going to April 8th, 2024, the next Great American Eclipse, that the second line that X out United States. Okay, and we're going that to May 1st, the first day of the timeline, the birth of the Antichrist on May 1st, 7 months, 7 plus 7 weeks, and 77 days. And that's another coincidence off the charts, ridiculous coincidence? I don't think so. And then now look at this. Illuminati was founded. If you know your history of this stuff at all, or if you don't, Illuminati was founded on May 1st, 1776. Oh, what a coincidence. It was just a couple of months before the United States was founded. Nope, not a coincidence, because they were running the United States. That is what is represented on our dollar bill. They run the freaking world. Wake up. If you don't know this. I mean, look at it. The illuminated ones comes from Lucifer. They believe in the pure light of Lucifer. That's what Illuminati is based on, the pure light of Lucifer, and that God is the evil one and Lucifer is the good one. Okay? I'm going to get into all those details. But so crazy. Look, May 1st, okay? And is it a coincidence that in Gematria, in reverse ordinal, that Bavarian Illuminati founded equals 418? 418 on the Julian, add 13 days, you get May 1st. And this is a coincidence? No, this is all lined up. Bavarian Illuminati founded, 418 on Julian, add 13 days, you get May 1st, Illuminati founded. That's not a coincidence. So we go May 1st, when the Illuminati was founded, May 1st, 1776, to May 1st, this year, the anniversary of the Illuminati founded, this year, the first day of the timeline of birth of the Antichrist is 249 years exactly. And by the way, the United States is in the 249th year as well. And why? It's pointing to the death of the Antichrist on the day with 249 days left over. Watch. This was the day the Pope died. Sorry, the Pope's funeral. He died up here, 421. A little bit up here. His funeral was on 426, symbolizing the death of the Antichrist on the Julian. And then the day with 249 days left over, the Pope's funeral, which will be the same day as 5/9 on the Gregorian. Okay, so, and then this just happens to be the 116th day of the year, which is upside down and backwards, 9/11. And then there will be one of the next 9/11s will be in New York on 5/9, reported on 5/9. Nukes will go off in Manhattans. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've said for a long time. See, 249, that's the anniversary of the Illuminati, is showing the day with 249 days left over, the death of the Antichrist, and the funeral of the Pope right there symbolically. Because this day will be 426. Anyway, the day the Pope actually died was 13 days earlier from this on the Julian, because it was this on the Gregorian. But this is symbolic of the day, and then the actual day will be when they're attacked, or when it's reported. All the aircraft carrier presidents, so USS Abraham Lincoln, USS Harry S. Truman will be attacked and destroyed pretty much, and then the actual presidents of Trump and Obama will be killed on that day. And possibly on the 3rd and 4th day Bush, and then definitely the 3rd and 4th day, which is 5/4 and 5/5 Zelensky. And that's all in my timeline, beyond my timeline. Okay, anyway. And then to show this even more, from the founding of the country of the United States, July 4th, 1776, which just happened to be a little after the founding of the Illuminati, I don't think so. And the same year, and just a few months later, there's all that numbers too, the difference between the two and all that stuff. But to May 1st is 248 years and 301, which is May the 3rd month and the 1st day. And if you take this to May the last day, so again, May 1st. And by the way, this is 4 plus 8 is 12, and that's 1, 2, 2, and that's May 2nd. May 2nd, May 1st. Anyway, and if you take this to May 16th, you have May the 3rd month, 1616. Hopefully that makes sense. It's crazy. It's absolutely true. And then in the word Illuminati, it's amazing. It's amazing the Lord led me to this, because in the word Illuminati is basically the first day on the Julian and on the Gregorian. I'm going to show you this. This is mind-blowing. So we're going to get rid of 9, because anything you add 9 to stays the same on this example. Because once I looked at this, I was like, oh my gosh. And I knew the context I was looking at this. I was like, oh goodness, this is great. This is really crazy. Okay. And also in Illuminati, before I share this, is the birth of the Antichrist on 5/12 and 5/13, because O is hiding 0. 0 is hiding O, which is 15. So that's 5, 1, and 12 is 5/13, or 5, 1 plus 12 is 5. Take away the 1 and 12. 5, 12, and 5/13. because O is 15 and it goes backwards. Anyway, without that, let me show you this. 21 is said 21, and it's 20 plus 1. But if you think about it, any word like 45 is 40 and 5. But you say it 45. You say it 40 and 5. So, for example, 21 is 20 and 1. And then 12 plus 12 is 24. I don't know why I had that over there right now, but it'll come back. And then we have 1 plus 3 is 4. And then 9 and 1 is 19 backwards. Now, I'm going to show this line as a separation. Now, watch this. Then we have 4 plus 1 is 5. Wait, I'll put this down here first. That's right. This is going to be the Julian. This is going to be the Gregorian. 4 plus 1 is 5. And then get rid of the 0. And in this case, 2 is 2 down here. And 9 is hiding 2 plus 2 plus 5. So in the word Illuminati is hiding. Let's go backwards from here. 19th of April, 20. Well, let's do this. 21 plus 24 is 25. 2025, April 19th. 21 plus 24 is 25. 2025, April 19th on the Julian equals, add 13 days, and you get May 2nd, and 9 is hiding 2 plus 2 plus 5. And that is all a massive coincidence. Hopefully follow this. It's incredible. It's real. That's an off-the-charts coincidence, and detailed from what, I mean, seriously, hopefully you get that. From the day Trump said, this could be the calm before the storm on October 5th, 2017, the day he said that, to the actual storm. This is the tsunami's star. This is the birth of the Antichrist, tsunami, lightning falling from heaven. The mega tsunamis hit both coasts. And again, that's in my timeline pinned to the top of comments. He said that is the storm, 512 and 513. But to 512, when he said that to 512, is 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days. Mr. 77 or 777 Trump. Again, I've said this many times. When Trump became president, he was 70 years. Wow, I can't even talk. Man, I'm losing my voice or something. 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days on his inauguration, when he was inaugurated the first time. He was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. And I have many of those I've shared over the years. 7 sevens and 777s, even 7777s, whatever. Okay. And then tribulation just happens exactly equal World War III, because this is the timeline where we're going to start entering the tribulation. And how? Well, first of all, we got 156. The 156 prime is 9, 1, and then 1. And when did 9, 1, and 1 start? When the first tower was attacked at 8:46 a.m. 8:46 a.m. was the first when 9, 1, and 1 started, and 9, 1, and 1 is the 156th prime. Okay, just a little side note there. And then World War III, which is 141, is hiding. 1 plus 4 is 5 and 1. 5, 1, and then 5 in the middle of 16, like I showed you. First day, last day, and that's a massive coincidence. First day, pre-day, post-day, that's what I call it. And then 5-2 is the first day, technically, and 5-15 is the last day, technically. This is a pre and a post-day. A number of reasons why I've shared that. I'm not going to get into all that right now. And then right here, 8:46 and 9:36, or 8 plus 4 is 12, and 9 plus 3 is 12. And so you have 1, 2, 6, 8 plus 4 is 12, and then you have 6. 9 plus 3 is 12, you have a 6, because the 126th day of the year is May 6th, the first attack day. So we literally have the tribulation begins on the attack day, but in a sense, the first day and the first attack day and the last day when the United States is completely destroyed, and then you have tribulation. World War III is going to culminate from the first day to the first attack day to the last day when Mystery Babylon is destroyed. It's all here. It's crazy. Hopefully that makes sense. And then you have this guy. I thought I'd throw this in to make a point. You have Usain Bolt, and you have Hussein the Bolt. See how this, hopefully they're doing the modified Zeus pose. And Zeus was a Greek god. Okay, Zeus. Okay, Greek god. They're doing the modified Zeus pose. He's saying he's a god, and he's the lightning bolt falling from heaven, and he just happens to be Usain Bolt, and he is Hussein. Did I spell Hussein right? I don't think, maybe I did. I think I have to spell it. I don't know. My mind's fried right now. Woo! I'm fried right now already for some reason. I don't know. Hussein the Bolt. Usain Bolts, and they got. I'm telling you, this is all forecasted. He's going to be a god on a particular day, the god of the world, the Antichrist, the god of this world, until Jesus comes back to kick his butt with us, with the faithful and all that. But look at this, Usain Bolt and Hussein the Bolt, and Usain Bolt still holds the 100-meter record, world record, and it was 9.58 seconds. It still is. And he did this record the same year he became the president of the United States, 2009, and is still holding, apparently. Because he's connected to him the same year, okay? Connected so many ways. I'm not getting into all the... There's so much in this. It's not even funny. But watch this. 9 plus 8 is 17. Again, he's going to be God to the world and come back to life and raise the Pope Mobile to life, and they're going to go right in front of the world on 516/517. And then look, Usain Bolt is 5'8", the death of the Antichrist on May 8th. And what's this? Boom, look, 7 plus 8 is 15, or 516 and 517. And what's also 5'8"? 5'8" is also 5. 1 plus 7 is 17. See, 517, 517, 516. These, again, I said these are incestuous numbers. They make each other in all kinds of ways. Death of the Antichrist and birth to the world of the Antichrist is the same number. 5'8", death, and 1 plus 7, or 517, the birth to the world. Okay? He's going to be he's saying he's going to be the god Zeus in a sense. The lightning bolt, lightning falling from heaven. And like I said, Jesus said in Luke 10:18, I see Satan is Barack Obama. That's in the original Aramaic Hebrew. Barack Obama is lightning falling from heaven. The lightning bolt, Usain Bolt. This guy's named it because of him. And he's a black guy, and he's skinny, and look how they look similar in a way. He's darker skin from Jamaica. I don't even... Jamaica is also crazy numbers. And then look, Barack Obama II, because his father was supposedly, not really his father because he's a clone, but the guy they passed off as him being his father is Barack Obama I, and he's Barack Obama II. And look, 516 again, 516. 516, and then in reverse English is 5-1, or 5-9, the reported death, or 1 from 5-9 is 5-8, 5-8 and 5-9. And then remember, 5-8 is still 5-1-7 and 5-1-6. Barack Obama II. And he's also Barack Hussein Obama. That's on his birth certificate, the second. Barack Hussein Obama. But he's also Barack Obama II. He has many names, including Steve Dunham and Barry Dunham and all kinds of, and legal names. They're on documents for that he in court stuff, and also in property he owns that I found, and all kinds of stuff. He has many names, and those all have different gematria that means all kinds of things, like prove that he's the Antichrist. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, and hopefully this blew your mind. Hopefully this stuff made sense, and we'll see. This is as I'm recording this right now, and I'm going to post it in a little bit here. It's April 30th, and tomorrow is May 1st. And we should see something in the first days by May 2nd, but stuff may not happen until the 3rd or the 4th, or even as much as the 5th day. Some of these are my very best guess. Some other ones I've seen in dreams and vision, like the major things like tsunamis and being on the Abraham Lincoln and all that stuff by that time and all that. So I know for sure those are going to happen. Now, as far as when, I don't know. I never say I know. It's always my best guess. Other things over years, I've looked at symbolism and gematria and work with other people, and including my brother Constantine, who's helped me so much in the last few years. We had this great collaboration, and what I'm trying to say. And so thank you so much, brother, and other people too, and people on my channel and people on Telegram, and thank all of you. And so I want to thank everybody. So by the way, that's sick. Oh, by the way, real quick. So that's why this is 159 is upside down and backwards 651, which is backwards 156. The 165th prime is 9-1-1, which represents the birth of the Antichrist. That's why there was an attack on that time, because there was an Obama. Anyway, in a sense, okay, he's the god of destruction. Obama. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And it's 156 prime is 9, 1, and then 1. And all kinds of ways you do 1, 5, 5, 6. Like, for example, right here, 5, 16. 5, 1 from 6 is 5, 5. And 5, 6. The first day is 5, 5, and 5, 6. Or the first attack day, 5, 5, and 5, 6 represented here. Or 5, 16, the last day. And then 1 from 5, 9 is 5, 8. Or take away the 1, 5, 9. His death day, 5, 8, and 5, 9. So 5, 6, 5, 5, and 5, 6. Or 5, 16, the last day, 5, 8, and 5, 9. Or hopefully that makes sense. And all the major days in the timeline have something to do with 1, 5, 6, which is the 156 prime 9, 1, and then 1. The birth. And by the way, if you didn't know this, September 11th or somewhere around there, September 11th was the birth of the real birth of Jesus. I mean, people debate about that and all that, but there's several different scholars I've known in past, and we're really good at this kind of stuff. And I remember when 9, 1, and then 1 happened in 2001, I called one of my friends that was this amazing scholar with all kinds of stuff, and in this stuff with Jesus and when he was born and all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, and knew the Hebrew and Greek and all that kind of stuff. And he's at that time doing for like 35 years or more. And I said, John, I'm like, isn't 9, 1, and then 1? I have to say it in code on YouTube, because so I don't get even more shadow banned. And I said, wasn't that, didn't you say years ago that what you thought was the birth of Jesus? And he said, yeah. It's like, isn't that strange? We got attacked on the birth of Jesus day. I mean, that translated into Hebrew calendar, and it was a different day, but it was in the fall and all this stuff and everything and all this stuff that, and he was just like blown away. He's like, why would this happen? Why would terrorists attack us? He had no idea, and I had no idea at that time what was really going on. And it was all planned. And it wasn't what we were told, who we were told it was. It was elites and other stuff behind the scenes and all this stuff and all that. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. But so then again, the birth of the Antichrist, the false Christ, would be on some other version of 9, 1, and 1. And by the way, like I said, the Pope died on 4/21, which is on the other side of 9, 1, and 1, because it's the days of the year. 9, 1, and then 1 was the 254th day of the year with 111 days left over. The day the Pope died was 4/21, the Queen's birthday, which was the 111th day of the year with 254 days left over, the opposite of 9, 1, and then 1. And again, it's still tying into the opposite of 9, 1, and 1. And in this case, every version of this, the 156, upside down and backwards, all this stuff, 156, 159, all this stuff is all 5-1, 5-5, 5-6, 5-8, 5-9, 5-16. All the different versions of these major days in the timeline of this timeline. 5-1 through 5-16 and the days in between. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for everybody who's ever given me good comments and all kinds of help and feedback and prayers, especially prayers. Oh my gosh, for my family. I have 4 children and a wife, and we're just, man, it's a struggle nonstop. For the people who know what I'm talking about that are faithful for the Lord, man, it has been tough as nails. In the past 6 months for sure. 6 to 8 months has been tough as nails. The last few months have been super tough. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. And Lord Jesus, come already. Please, Lord Jesus, I beg you. And I think we might be there. Hopefully we're there. So anyway, and if you're able to give it all, if this goes a little bit longer somehow, because I think with the Pope dying, I'm so confident he's the false prophet and CKBO is the Antichrist, and it won't be much longer, and then he'll be raised from the dead. So we're so close, I believe. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. It's my best guesses and all this. So if you're able to give, I have links in the description box below to help support my family. That's how they get supported. We don't have anything else. I'm just totally trusting the Lord on everything I do here and warning people. This is my full-time job of warning people till the time's up. And by the way, if you didn't know, I mean, I get emails all the time, and I have for 6+ years, people actually asking to know how to know Jesus and stuff. And And I've thankfully, supposedly, brought several people to the Lord over the years through people asking me and stuff. But this is through email and stuff like that, and through back and forth and all that. So I don't know exactly what's going on. I'm not seeing these people face to face, but I'm assuming several of them have, and there's been some correspondence back and forth and things like that. So there's been a lot of that too. So there's impacts and beyond just warning people, and I'm educating people about what's really going on in this world, not just the things that people see, and most of it's fake. Unfortunately, it's a rude awakening for a lot of people to realize that most of the stuff that they see in the world is fake, and it's for programming, and it's just insane. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. And I thank you so much. You'll be able to give. And all this stuff is in the description box below. And please pray. We cover your prayers. And just yeah. So thank you so much. God bless. This is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.